Welcome back to my road to completion guide for Dark Souls Remastered. This is episode 2. The first thing we need to do is kill the NPC sitting near the Firelink Shrine bonfire. Make sure to set up a safety save before completing this step because he can kill you with 2 quick hits. Sometimes, when he feels threatened, he will back roll to avoid attacks, and we can use this to our advantage. Use the well to create space between the two of you, and when his back is toward the cliff, fire a soul arrow. Eventually he'll back roll to avoid getting hit, but in the process he'll end up killing himself. You can also force him to the edge with your shield and then cast Soul Arrow. This is a bit more risky, but I find that he tends to back roll more often, so you'll have to pick the method that works best for you. Killing this NPC gives us 1,000 souls, which we can use to help us purchase the 2 spells I spoke about in episode 1. If you find this step of the guide too difficult, load up your safety save to reset the NPC and farm the 1,000 souls from the enemies on the hill. Rest at the bonfire and follow me so we can pick up 2 more souls. Always send this elevator back to the top so we have quick access to it later. Open your inventory and use all the souls we've collected so far. If you've done everything correctly up to this point, you should have at least 6,000 souls. Now we have enough souls to purchase Heavy Soul Arrow and Soul Arrow from the NPC.
Well, this is unusual. You haven't lost your head. And more importantly, you're free. I'll
Some of you will have a few thousand souls left, and that's because you accumulated additional souls during the combat practice session from episode 1. Feel free to travel back to the Firelink Shrine bonfire and use those souls to level up vitality as much as possible. Then meet us back here to complete the next step of the guide. If you don't have souls, there's no need to farm any. Our vitality stat has very little to do with the guide at this particular time. We are currently not set up to defeat the enemies in this area, but we can still grab the Firekeeper soul. The trick to getting the Firekeeper soul is speed. Stay close to the monument to remain safe from the long reach of the enemies. When you make it to the gap, run in a straight line to avoid falling off the thin platform hidden just underneath the water. Bounce off the ghost, grab the Firekeeper soul, and die on purpose. This death was strategic because it allowed us to get back to the bonfire quickly, and even though we died, the impact it had on our character was minimal. I say minimal because some of you did lose a few hundred souls, but you'll actually be able to pick them up the next time we travel back to that area. Open your inventory and use all your humanity. Humanity grants small buffs to our character, reverses the hollowing process, and some other things that I'll explain later. For now, use one humanity to reverse the hollowing process so we can become human again. This allows us to summon phantoms that can help us defeat certain bosses. We will remain human for the rest of the game to ensure we can take advantage of this gameplay mechanic. Magic Attunement lets us set up multiple spells in any order we choose. Square deletes spells and X assigns spells to attunement slots. Assign the following spells in this order: Soul Arrow, Heavy Soul Arrow. Heavy Soul Arrow does more damage than Soul Arrow, but takes more time to cast, so pay close attention to my gameplay to ensure you're always using the correct spell for each situation. Follow me downstairs and reinforce your Estus Flask using the Firekeeper soul we just picked up. Certain bonfires are protected by Firekeepers, which have the ability to reinforce our Estus Flask using a Firekeeper soul. Each time we reinforce our flask, we'll be granted more health each time we drink. Now follow me to Blighttown and set up a save. The trick to getting to the bottom of Blighttown is to move fast. Always descend ladders by holding the O button. Don't be afraid to step off wooden platforms, and skip all the enemies to avoid status effects that will deplete your health over time. When you reach the platform at the bottom, set up another save. Dark spirits can invade our game in certain areas. Killing them grants us rewards like humanity, equipment, additional souls, and in some cases, the ability to summon them for boss fights. Killing dark spirits can be difficult, especially with minimal stats, but once you know their limitations, they become easier to deal with. As soon as you reach the tunnel, you'll be invaded by a dark spirit named Mildred. Do not touch the bonfire and keep running so you'll have time to grab the dragon scale from the chest before she catches you. After getting the dragon scale, climb the ladder on the right and wait for Mildred in the back of the room. Don't try to fight her here. Instead, follow me to the cave across the swamp and wait for her to catch up. You will more than likely get poisoned crossing the swamp, so drink your Estus flask to stay alive. Sometimes Mildred loses you during the chase, so you'll have to venture back into the swamp to find her. Enemies, this includes phantoms, are not designed to chase you outside of a specific area designated by the developers. Once you understand that this is a limitation placed on the AI, you can exploit this behavior for easy kills. Killing Mildred gives us 8,748 souls, additional humanity, plus you'll be able to help us defeat the upcoming boss. You can pick up the butcher knife if you want, but it's not necessary to complete the guide. We have to complete a small event for an NPC that will meet in a few minutes. Here's how to do it. Walk up to the enemy, don't move, and tap R2. Just make sure your health is above 50% to avoid taking a death. The goal is to get hit, but it needs to be with the exact animation I'm showing on screen. If you don't see this animation, drink from your Estus flask and try again. After you complete this step, run to the fog gate and set up another save. Just be aware that any status effect, in our case poison, will be reset to 100% if we set up a save before the status bar is fully depleted. Summon Mildred and walk through the fog so we can fight the next boss. This boss looks very intimidating, but is actually very easy since we have Mildred to help us. Use Mildred as a distraction, and while the boss is worried about her, cast magic from a safe distance. If the boss becomes aggressive towards you, block and circle back to Mildred. The goal is to always have Mildred in between you and the boss. You'll receive QUELAAG'S soul for winning the fight, more humanity, and 20,000 souls. Run into the next room and ring the bell to pick up another trophy and a Homeward Bone. Homeward Bones allow us to fast travel to the previous bonfire we rested at without any penalty. This is why I told you earlier not to rest at the bonfire in the tunnel. We want to complete as much of this area as we can, then use our Homeward Bone to fast travel back to the Firelink Shrine bonfire. Otherwise, we'd be forced to climb out of Blighttown. Set up a safety save and then talk to the NPC guarding the bonfire. Make sure to say yes to his question. The enemy we hit just before our fight with QUELAAG infected us with a virus. Wait here until it manifests and then talk to the NPC again.
Well, now, you're just like me. Your dedication is fully apparent.
He'll give us one egg vermifuge for free, and we can use it to get rid of the infection. Let's buy another one before we leave so we can use it later in the guide. Once again, do not rest at the bonfire. Instead, follow me to the fog gate and set up a save. This boss is extremely easy. All we have to do is grab the armor from the altar and run back to the fog gate as fast as possible. As long as you stand exactly where I show in my gameplay, you'll be completely safe from his attack. Follow up with a few R2 attacks of your own and we can add another 20,000 souls to our bank, more humanity, and another Homeward Bone. Head toward the lava on the right so we can set up for the next area. Equip the following items in your consumable slots. Firebombs go in slot 2 and Homeward Bones go in slot 3. You'll also want to equip the armor we just picked up because it'll give us a significant boost in defense. Just make sure to leave off the skirt because it will cause us to move slower. We'll eventually put it on for extra defense, but that will come later in the guide. Grab the soul and bait the enemy into an attack. Instead of counterattacking, run past him until you see a platform on the right that you can drop down to. Pick up the soul and be ready to quit the game. Sometimes the enemy chasing you will jump down behind you and it's difficult to fight him on such a small platform. After you have the soul, set up another save. If you keep dying trying to get around this enemy, it's because you're not sprinting. If you try to walk across this gap, a lot of times you get stuck and that causes a death. Check the area under the stairs for 2 green Titanite shards. You'll also find another soul behind one of the pillars on the right. Just be aware of the enemy in the area. After you have both items, use your Homeward Bone so we can return to the Firelink Shrine bonfire. Use all of your souls and humanity, but do not accidentally use the soul of QUELAAG because we need this item later to forge a weapon. Push your intelligence to 40 to improve your defense and magic damage. Having our intelligence stat at 40 allows us to kill most of the smaller enemies with our spells in less than 3 hits. Now let's make our way to the Valley of the Drakes. The undead dragon can easily be defeated by standing near the tall patch of grass and firing soul arrows. Killing the dragon gives us a dragon scale, which can be used later to level up a weapon. After killing the undead dragon, pick up the Astora straight sword, dragon crest shield, and soul before moving further into the valley. Be sure to set up a safety save before trying to fight the drakes. The first drake is guarding humanity, which is located inside the cave. The best way to defeat the drake is to get close enough so it begins walking towards you, then back up until it gets stuck on the cliff. Follow up with heavy soul arrows for an easy kill. This Drake is a bit trickier to defeat, but only if you get too close. The strategy is to keep backing up and only cast magic when the Drake is walking towards you. Just be careful not to back up too far because you'll end up falling off the cliff. After both Drakes are dead, take the elevator up to the next area and rest at the bonfire. Let's level up our strength to +10. This small stat improvement will allow us to equip the Dragon Crest Shield without any penalty. We can also use one Humanity to kindle this bonfire, giving us access to an additional 5 Estus Flask. Black Knights are some of the tougher enemies in the game, but since we understand that the AI has limits, we can easily take them down. Notice how the Black Knight's AI breaks the second it tries to enter the tunnel. Anytime you see an enemy back up like this, you have advantage play until you either land a hit or they move back to their initial starting point. Killing this Black Knight always grants a blue Titanite chunk, but there's a random chance you will also receive a Black Knight Halberd. We need this weapon to help us pop a trophy later, but it's not necessary that you get it now. Regardless of what drops, continue following the guide. Pick up the Grass Crest Shield before resting at the bonfire to recover your magic. Then follow me to pick up another soul. After grabbing the soul, run up the hill and set up a save. The next enemy can one-shot us and we don't want to lose our humanity or souls. Havel is just inside the tower on the right. There are 2 strategies that we can use to kill him. Number 1, rotate the camera until you're able to lock on. Now move just inside the doorway until he notices you. When he does, quickly move outside and post up halfway down the stairs to avoid his attack. When he follows, hit him with soul arrows until he returns inside. Repeat this process until he's dead. Number 2, run up the stairs behind the door and target him while he's chasing you. At the last second, roll off the edge. If done correctly, he will just miss his attack, but in the process, he will fall off the edge as well. When he lands, he'll be stunned from the fall, which gives you a chance to deal some quick damage. Hitting him once usually forces him to chase you outside, which is exactly what we want. Havel will drop his ring after the fight, which can be used to increase our maximum equip load. Increasing our equip load allows us to assign more gear to our character without becoming too heavy. If we can keep our total weight limit below 25% of our maximum equip load, we'll get better stamina recovery, a faster rolling animation, and all around better character movement. Now we can improve our defense by wearing the gold hem black skirt without any negative effects to our character. Follow me upstairs and enter the fog gate. Climb the ladder and kill both enemies before setting up a safety save. It will only take 4 heavy soul arrows to kill this boss since we've leveled up our intelligence to 40. The strategy is simple. Run across the bridge until he jumps from the tower. Race back to the ladder, climb to the top of the tower, and wait for him to get close enough to target. Fire 3 heavy soul arrows and then move back a good distance to avoid his jumping attack. Counter with the 4th heavy soul arrow to collect your rewards. Run to the opposite tower and look behind the wooden crate for another soul. This NPC is crucial to our run, so it's important that you say yes to all of his questions. Then you want to talk to him until he laughs. After that, you're good to move on.
Oh, aha. So I didn't scare you. I have a proposition, if you have a moment.
The way I see it, our fate in a land brimming with hollows, could that really be mere chance? So what do you say? Why not help one another on this? Displeased? We are amidst strange, the flow of the very fact there's no telly, but use the to summon one and engage. Of course we are not, but I am a if you miss it.
Cross the bridge, pick up the soul, and run downstairs to kick the ladder. Once again, do not rest at the bonfire. Kill the enemies and set up another safety save. This is the part of the run where you need to make a decision. Do you want to use the duplication glitch to level up all your stats now, or follow the guide and play the game the way it was intended? You just made a safety save, so you can always change your mind, but if you know for sure you want to play the game as intended, look in the timeline below and skip ahead to the sequence labeled Normal Path. Here's how to set up the glitch. Number 1. Purchase 999 wooden arrows from the Undead merchant.
Thank you kindly.
Number 2. Press the options button and find the soul of a proud knight. Move the soul to the second spot in your inventory between the Estus flask and the white sign soapstone. Number 3. Locate the wooden arrows in your inventory and select drop. Number 4. When the quantity prompt appears, select 999 as the quantity you wish to drop. Number 5. Press the X button to cancel the action. Number 6. Press L1 to scroll to the system menu and hover over option 2, brightness. Number 7. Press X and R1 at the same time to start the glitch. Now, based on my experience, I find that I have to press X slightly before R1 to get the glitch to work. This might take some practice, but eventually you'll get it too. Number 8. When the brightness menu appears, scroll down and select OK. At this point, you should see 3 overlapping menus: the system menu in the front, the quantity menu in the middle, and your inventory menu in the back. Scroll down using the D-pad and select Quit Game. Press up on the D-pad to select 999 from the quantity menu and press OK. This glitch allows you to use 999 Proud Knight souls all at once. You can use this glitch with the other 3 souls in your inventory as well to further increase the souls applied to your bank. This part of the guide has not been edited, so you can watch the glitch in action a few more times.
Oh, you again. I hope you brought plenty of souls.
Now that you have a ton of souls, purchase 93 firebombs and the bottomless box from the Undead Merchant.
Thank you kindly.
Now kill the Undead Merchant with the heavy soul arrow to pick up the resistance key and 1 humanity.
Julia.
Don't forget to pick up the weapon he drops, because we need the Uchigatana to get credit for the Knight's Honor trophy. When all of this is done, use a Homeward Bone to travel back to the previous bonfire. The duplication glitch also works with humanity. Use your souls to level up the following stats: Vitality to 40, Attunement to 23, Endurance to 17, Strength to 16, Intelligence to 50, and Faith to 25. You can obviously push any of these stats higher if you want, but I wouldn't go past 50 because of diminishing returns. Vitality, Endurance, and Strength should be your focus. We also want to place the soul of QUELAAG in the bottomless box so we don't accidentally use it later. If you decided not to use the glitch, purchase 93 firebombs and the bottomless box from the Undead Merchant.
Thank you kindly.
Then kill the Undead Merchant with the heavy soul arrow to pick up the Resonance Key and 1 humanity.
My name, little Julia.
Don't forget to pick up the weapon he drops because we need the Uchigatana to get credit for the Knight's Honor trophy. When all of this is done, use a Homeward Bone to travel back to the previous bonfire. We also want to place the soul of QUELAAG in the bottomless box so we don't accidentally use it later. Use all of your souls and humanity. Now, regardless of whether you decided to use the glitch, the next step in the guide should be the same for all of us. Follow me so I can show you where to find the Longbow. Keep climbing the hill and take a left when you see the title graphic for Darkroot Garden. Set up a safety save just before fighting the Titanite demon. Killing the Titanite demon is all about timing. It takes a lot longer to cast heavy soul arrows, so you want to press R1 as you dodge the lightning to ensure you get your spell off in between his attacks. We'll talk to this NPC later, but for now, go upstairs and rest at the bonfire. By now you should have a pretty good handle on combat, so just follow my gameplay and I'll show you how to effectively handle each combat sequence. Remember, our goal is to outsmart the AI, and we can do this because we understand the limitations the developers have placed on their programming. With that said, I'll still be providing commentary for boss fights, item pickups, and other collectibles. Grab the Firekeeper soul off the altar. Pick up the Halberd and the basement key after killing the knights in the next room. Take the lift back to Firelink's shrine and grab the soul at the top of the stairs. Drop down and move through the tunnel under the lift. This will give you access to several chests, 2 of which hold items that we need, 6 Homeward Bones and 4 Lloyd's Talismans. Skeletons will chase you as soon as you drop down into the graveyard, but the goal is not to fight them. Instead, keep running and pick up the soul overlooking the bonfire. Skeletons can actually chase you back to the bonfire, and if this happens, you won't be able to rest. To counter this, simply quit the game and continue from the main menu. Take the lift, go upstairs, and clear out all the enemies. This includes the Channeler. A good place to set up a safety save is at the top of the lift. Once all the enemies are dead, pick up the soul in the back room on the left. Kill the knight in the hallway, then follow me to pick up more humanity. There's an NPC locked away in a secret area behind the broken wooden door. Use the master key to free him from his cell and then use a Homeward Bone to return to Firelink Shrine.
Oh, then I...
Kill all the enemies on the hill, including the rat in the tunnel, then run below the Firelink Shrine bonfire and set up a save. When you load back into the game, the NPC will more than likely be gone. If so, quit and continue to spawn him in again. Take this opportunity to reinforce your Estus flask to +2. Talk to the NPC and he'll give us a sunlight medal. We have to collect 10 sunlight medals before reaching a certain spot in New Game Plus, and this is our first one. Now we have to kill him so he doesn't end up killing the Firekeeper later in the game. He is not programmed to pass through the tunnel above the hill, so that's where you'll have advantage play.
I was once grateful to you.
Killing this NPC grants us souls, 5 humanity, and a ring that slightly increases our health, stamina, and equip load. Just inside the fog gate is a soul, barely visible behind the stairs. Do not rest at this bonfire. Instead, climb the ladder and trigger the dragon to breathe fire on the bridge. All you have to do is touch the bridge and run downstairs to avoid getting hit. It's smart to set up a safety save just in case. This part is random. We have to cross the bridge without dying to the dragon. He has a chance of breathing fire 3 times, but sometimes he won't attack you at all, like you see in my gameplay. The trick is to keep running. Healing will only slow you down. If he kills you, load up your safety save and try again. Eventually, he will let you pass. Open the door using the basement key we picked up earlier. Climb down the ladder, switch to your firebombs, and set up another safety save. Wait for the dogs to bounce off your shield and follow up with the firebomb to kill them. Move to the end of this area to find more humanity. Free the NPC using the residence key we acquired from the undead merchant. After that, set up a save.
Somebody, please let me out of here. Somebody, help.
Be very careful moving through this area. Follow my gameplay exactly to stay safe. Before fighting the next boss, pick up the soul on the left. This boss fight is easy since we have access to firebombs and a bow. Equip the bow and press triangle to hold it with both hands. After that, set up a save. With the bow selected, press L1 to aim at the fourth cutout in the wall. We're not actually firing an arrow, we just want to get a specific angle. Double check to make sure you're as far into the corner as possible. Press L1 to quit aiming and do not rotate the camera. Then press square to throw a firebomb. Now check to make sure you're dealing damage to the boss on the inside of the fog gate. Keep this process up until he's defeated. You'll find a soul at the dead end downstairs. Then follow me back to Firelink Shrine. Set up a safety save before speaking with the NPC we freed earlier. Make sure to answer yes to his questions so he'll give us access to his shop.
Splendid. Well then.
Purchase Fall Control, Aural Decoy, and the Bellowing Dragon Crest Ring. Replace the Ring of Favor and Protection with the Bellowing Dragon Crest Ring to further improve the damage we deal with spells. Rest at the bonfire and talk to the NPC in the back of the shrine.
Hello there. Hello there. Oh, hello. I will...
Keep speaking with him until you get a list of menu options. Choose Enter Covenant, wait for the trophy to pop, and then say no.
That is a shame. Speak to me.
Take the lift back to the Undead Parish, set up a save, and make your way to the fog gate. Switch to Heavy Soul Arrow and set up another save. Summon Night Solaire and make your way through the fog gate. When the fight begins, block and fall back behind Solaire. The second the gargoyle is distracted, cast Heavy Soul Arrow until it dies. Repeat this process for gargoyle number 2. Some of you will receive random equipment for winning this fight, but none of this equipment has any bearing on the trophies. Also notice that Solaire survived this encounter, and in return we received a Sunlight Medal. For the rest of the game, it's important that Solaire never dies. Climb to the top of the tower and ring the bell to unlock another trophy. Kill the NPC downstairs for quick souls and extra humanity.
Made thyself and thou leavest me no choice. I shall accept thy in the hereafter. Thou shalt regret this. Fear thine.
Follow me back to the Undead Parish bonfire so we can replenish our Estus flask and magic. Now that we've rang both bells, Sin's Fortress is available for us to explore, but the only thing we want to do now is grab the soul in the first room and set up a save. We will fully explore this area in episode 3. Watch out for raised tiles on the floor because they signify traps. Traps can be used to kill enemies, and we will use this to our advantage. The strategy for killing these enemies is very simple. Stay close, block, and only counterattack when they hit you with their sword. If you're fighting multiple enemies, distance is the key. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. My name is Exonovant, and I'll see you in the next one. Be good. If you enjoy my videos and would like to support my work, you can do so at Patreon. Pledges start at $1 a month, and for those of you who support me already, I greatly appreciate it.